Hello everyone and welcome back to Very Cold Lasagna, your filthy casual place for all the filthy casual takes on the world of sports. I am Dylan Lasagna and welcome back to me talking about my 49ers as they prepare for a big battle in the Bay Area as they welcome Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or as I like to call them, the Bucs in shorthand, in their Week 14 matchup. And yeah, this has been a weird week for San Francisco and the 49ers faithful, or the fan base around the world, because, well, let's talk about it. Let's go straight into it. The week that was. For the 49ers, straight away, yeah, they allowed a long touchdown on the very first play against the Miami Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa. And then on the very first series on offense, Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, got sacked, got sandwiched. And then during that sack sandwich, he got rolled up on his foot. And then he eventually got carted out of the stadium. And more on that later. But the Niners regrouped on defense, forced a couple of key turnovers on Tua. And then on offense, their third stringer, because remember, Trey Lance is not there anymore for the season. Their third string quarterback, who they're down to now, Brock Purdy, stepped up, actually looked pretty good in that game against the Dolphins to make some pretty good plays. He made some tight window throws on offense as the 49ers actually dominated the Miami Dolphins 33-17 in week 13. So the only thing is, though, Jimmy Garoppolo did suffer a broken foot, and while they didn't technically rule him out for the season, the recovery time 7 to 8 weeks, but Kyle Shanahan doesn't expect him back. So for anyone expecting him back, or maybe he's just playing mind games with the media, personally for me, I don't expect him back for the season. And even if they were to make the playoffs, which honestly they could possibly do, it's just a long shot. It is a long shot for me. So meanwhile, for the Tampa Bay Bucs, on their Monday night game against the New Orleans Saints, they were rattled off offensively for most of the game. But some questionable decisions by the coaching staff and their offense, pretty much a conservative approach, along with some self-inflicted penalties like a very bad pass interference one on defense. Tom Brady and the Bucs rallied back and capped off a 13-point rally with a Rachaad White touchdown reception with just 3 seconds left to go, and beat the Saints 17-16 to even their record at 6-6. So they're pretty much first place in the NFC South. And yeah, technically everyone else below them are still in the fight for the division title. But realistically, are they really going to catch up to Tampa Bay at this point? I mean, yeah, they're not there. So far this season, Tampa Bay actually hasn't been very great. Tom Brady, yeah, he's had his moments where Tom Brady is Tom Brady, but his supporting cast has either been injured or they're so bad that it's actually made Tom Brady vulnerable to turnovers, mistakes, sacks. It's just been a weird year for TB12. So yeah, going into this game for both of these teams, like, this is a game that both the Bucs and the Niners need to have, especially for the Niners if they want to strengthen their hold on the NFC West. Now, especially now that they're down to their third string quarterback in Brock Purdy. They don't have Jimmy Garoppolo. They don't have Trey Lance. It's basically the defense, the run game. That's it. That's pretty much it. It's like, well, shit. And especially with Seattle breathing down your neck. They're pretty much breathing down the throat, looking to stomp on it. Especially with, right after this, a big Thursday night football showdown awaits in Seattle. So, we're just praying that this will be either Purdy in the middle, and let's just hope it doesn't go ugly. So, looking at the injury report for going ahead in this game, just keep in mind, I am recording this on a Thursday night, right after the Thursday night game, And whatever I say here may not always reflect the injury report that comes out late Friday. So whoever's in and out, we'll see what happens from there. So looking at the Bucs injury report, Tristan Wirfs, their key offensive tackle for the Bucs, starting with them first. He missed the Monday night game against the Saints with ankle and knee injuries. Still hasn't been in practice yet, and could be in danger of missing Sunday's game. So the offensive line for the Tampa Bay Bucs honestly hasn't been together and hasn't been the same without their key players like Tristan Wirfs, Ryan Jensen, their center, still on injured reserve. Without the protection that Tom Brady needs. Sure, Tom Brady has a quick release, but it's just like Brady has, like I said, has been prone to more mistakes this year. And meanwhile, in the secondary, where most of their injuries lie, Sean Murphy Bunting, their corner, looks like he could miss this game as well again with a quad injury. Sure, he's been gaining a little bit more practice in, but he was also ruled, just keep in mind, he was also ruled doubtful to play against the Saints this past Monday. But that doesn't always translate to this week against the 49ers. The nose tackle Vita Vea been limited in practice as he continues to work and manage his foot and shoulder injuries. Although he did play until he did play Monday against New Orleans. Safety Antoine Winfield could be in danger of missing Sunday's game against the 49ers as he deals with an ankle injury because he didn't practice yet. Free safety Mike Edwards also in danger of missing the game with a hamstring injury. They could be getting one weapon back on offense, though. Tight end Cameron Brate, he missed Monday's game with an illness, so back fully practicing. And then a late addition to the injury report and a key part of their running game, Leonard Fournette, with the foot injury on Thursday. So I have to wait and see if he will be practicing again on Friday when after this gets recorded. So we'll see. But if whether or not he does play, he's a key part to the Bucs offense, along with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rashad White, and Cameron Brate. So a lot of key pieces for that Brady needs to have if he wants to get the win against the 49ers. Speaking of the 49ers, like I said with Jimmy Garoppolo, even if the injury is not season ending, don't expect him back. It's a 7 to 8 week injury with the broken foot. Just, again, I wouldn't expect him back, even if the Niners make the playoffs. The Niners, however, I do believe that they will have Nick Bosa, even if he hasn't been practicing, as the team manages a hamstring issue that came up during the Dolphins game. Some other injuries that came up during the Dolphins game, the quad injury that Deebo Samuel has been dealing with since the Cardinals game. They're still trying to manage that. Christian McCaffrey, a knee injury. He's still trying to manage that as well. Eric Armstead has his foot injury. He's been a limited participant. Spencer Burford has also been limited with the ankle injury. Hassan Ridgeway, the defensive tackle, like the reserve defensive tackle, hasn't been practicing with the pectoral strain. He may not play if he doesn't get the reps on Friday's practice. So keep an eye on that injury report. And then defensive back Tarvarius Moore has also not been practicing with the knee injury. So they hopefully they get at least one of those guys practicing, because having those key pieces in the defense, even if they don't play up to their expectations, it always helps to have a reserve piece in. Looking at some of your top stories of the week, mainly it's on the 49ers side. The Niners, in response to the Jimmy G news, they signed quarterback Josh Johnson as a backup. Yeah, we all remember Josh Johnson, the 14-year journeyman that has been on almost half of the teams in the league, and this is literally his third stint with San Francisco. That guy Josh Johnson, and literally they could have had. I don't know if they really could have had Baker Mayfield, even though the Rams, well, they had him, and Baker Mayfield led them to a comeback win. But the Niners decided not to make a waiver claim for him. And I guess to some degree, it's somewhat okay because Mayfield has that personality issue. He does have that attitude that could rub some people the wrong way in the locker room. But either way, maybe the Niners didn't want to claim him because it would I don't know, maybe it disrupt something. It would rub off some bad vibes for some guys in the locker room. But I don't know. I thought it was interesting that the Rams were the only team to place a claim on Baker Mayfield during that time. Maybe it just goes to show how desperate they really were to keep him away from San Francisco as revenge for getting Christian McCaffrey. But hey, whatever to be petty in this rivalry, I guess. So looking at some of your players to watch for this game, for the Tampa Bay Bucs, it's going to be mostly defense in this game. Carlton Davis, you haven't really heard his name a lot. If you really haven't seen the Bucs outside of nationally televised games, but he has been a force to be reckoned with. Unless if he's getting shredded by actually good receivers. So, he's a difference maker. He's good in coverage. He hasn't had as good of a year as in the last 2 years since Brady joined, but you never want to count him out in the secondary. The inside linebacking rotation of Levante David and Devin White. You want to watch out for them in pass coverage and in the pass rush as well. So Brock Purdy will want to get that ball up. But either way, whether it's the linebacking rotation of them or the outside linebacking rotation of Shaq Barrett, you want to watch out for them. You want to watch out for anything that they're going to throw at that kid. And then the running game of Leonard Fournette and Rachaad White. So the Niners' running defense is pretty strong, but there are times where they just sleep on the wheel and let running backs just swing by them. Meanwhile, for the 49ers, obviously the kid, Brock Purdy. We don't know really a lot about him. Sure, he started a lot of games in Iowa State for the Cyclones, and we only got one sample size out of him in the Dolphins game. Sure, he has a quick release, not so great deep ball quite yet, but he's a risk taker. I'll give him that. And throwing in very tight windows, but yeah, we're really about to see what he's made of against a quarterback that considers himself the GOAT, and some people think he is the GOAT, which is okay. I guess we just forgot about Joe Montana. But anyway, Brock Purdy, we're about to see what he's truly made of against a solid defense that's just simply beat up. And then Eric Armstead and obviously Nick Bosa, but I think the X factor here is going to be Drake Jackson. I think D'Amico Ryans really needs to see the potential of Drake Jackson. I think they need to let him loose some more. And then Christian McCaffrey. The Tampa Bay Bucs run defense, the run defense is not that great. It's actually one of their weaknesses. So McCaffrey, he's not a between the tackles runner or a short yard distance runner. That's pretty much Jordan Mason's job. But what Christian McCaffrey can do is run on the outside of the numbers and pick up his running yardage there, and then on the receiving end, do even more of your damage there. Keep in mind, McCaffrey knows this team since Tom Brady was there as well, because McCaffrey played with the Panthers and they're division rivals, so McCaffrey may know a couple of things or two playing this team. So There you go. So looking at some of your keys to victory for both of these teams. For the Bucs, you just gotta have patience in rushing Brock Purdy. And I know, like, one of the big things that they're probably gonna look at on film from that Dolphins game was that they blitzed the hell out of Brock Purdy. They were bull rushing him to get that ball out. And that clearly didn't work. That clearly did not work because Brock Purdy got that ball out real quick. And even though it didn't lead to a couple of positive yard plays, Brock Purdy was well aware that the blitzes were coming. So if you're the Bucs and you want to get some sacks or negative plays or turnovers off of him, you got to have some patience. You can't blitz 24/7 on this kid. You got to mix it up with your rush packages. You got to have patience in getting to the quarterback. And another thing is you got to protect Tom Brady. Even if your offensive line is not at full strength. Again, you're missing Ryan Jensen. You're missing Tristan Wirfs. I think one of your other offensive linemen is out for the season as well. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. But protecting Tom Brady either way is key against this strong 49ers pass rush. You give Tom Brady time to throw. These receivers in Godwin and Evans, they will beat you. And then they got to have a better start offensively. Because if they don't, then sooner or later, that Niners offense with Purdy will wake the hell up. They will wake the heck up. As for the 49ers, just keep things simple. Find what works for Brock Purdy. Hopefully this full week of training, practice for Purdy and what Kyle Shanahan has observed, we'll hopefully see something. We'll hopefully transition to what's on the field this coming Sunday against the Bucs. As long as you keep things simple, not just let's run the damn ball a million plays with Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey. None of that 49ers football bullshit that you've done so many times with Jimmy Garoppolo. Just tap into what makes Brock Purdy, and use what worked in the Dolphins game. I mean, don't use it repeatedly though. Pretty much tap into his strengths. Let him throw the damn ball. And then if you want to go to the run game, do it with Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason is the clear first down, the clear between the tackles back. I mean, this is not disrespect to Christian McCaffrey, but it kind of almost contradicts what I say about him for the players to watch part. But Jordan Mason, if you watched him in the Dolphins game and even the Saints game, he actually got a lot of good yardage in first and second down situations. So Jordan Mason, it might be wise to use him in like medium yard situations because he can pick up those yards. He can pick up these yards between the tackles and maybe in like against other defenders out of the box. So you might want to establish a little bit of balance between McCaffrey and Mason, and then obviously give Tom Brady all kinds of trouble up front. Big opportunity for Nick Bosa, Armstead, Drake Jackson, and others to give Brady all kinds of fits with a less than 100% offensive line. So, Nick Bosa, this is your game. This is your game to do it. And this is a game to continue to establish the Niners' dominance on defense. Tom Brady, still a really good quarterback, but you want to really make a statement in this game? Do it against one of the best. So, we don't know what's going to happen this Sunday against Tom Brady and the Bucs, especially considering you're trotting out a third-string quarterback. I mean, you don't have a choice at this point because, Jimmy G's injured, Trey Lance is injured, so now you got to turn to Brock Purdy. So, I mean, for the Niners, I do think they will win this game. It might be a closer and a like a not so scoring game as it usually is, but they'll find a way. I think they will find a way to come out on top, just as long as Purdy doesn't fall into the trap of mistakes. Yes, he was picked last. He's Mr. Irrelevant, but all of a sudden he's relevant. And as long as he doesn't get overconfident, doesn't make many stupid mistakes, and Kyle Shanahan makes things comfortable for him, and his receivers and his supporting cast help him out, then he can potentially succeed in this game against Tom Brady and the Bucs. So we'll see what happens this Sunday in a big NFC matchup. So I'm intrigued. I'm also nervous, but it should be a little exciting and nerve-wracking at the same time. Exciting, nerve-wracking. Yeah, I'm just throwing out words. So anyway, let me know your thoughts about this upcoming game between the Tampa Bay Bucs and the 49ers in this NFC matchup, in one that could shape the playoffs. Let me know your thoughts about that this game on Sunday in the comments below. Anyway, this is Dylan Lasagna, a Very Cold Lasagna, signing out, and keep that lasagna very cold in the fridge with your takes on the world of sports. And until next time, peace out.